Hello again, Tenno, and welcome to the fourth episode of Frame of Lore. Today, we'll be looking at everyone's favourite creepy guys, the Infested. As usual, we'll take a look at who or what they are, and what effect they have on the origin system. As usual, a quick spoiler warning. If you want to find out all this for yourself, then consider yourself warned. With that said, let's get into today's video. The Infested are a group of twisted and deformed creatures that originated from the mutation of normal living beings who were taken over by the parasites of the infestation. The infestation parasites are a microscopic techno-organic pathogen that was made by the Orokin. Who would have thought the not-so-great guys from before could do even more evil? The majority of the infested we encounter are mutated forms of Corpus crewmen or Grineer lancers, with even some of the Corpus robots becoming mutated. The oldest of these infested that we can come across are the Ancients, who are so old their original form has been lost. So, we said how the Orokin made this pathogen a moment ago, but why? Well, the same reason they cloned an army of Grineer, to fight the sentients. From what we can tell, the virus itself does not care who it targets, be it Corpus, Grineer, robotic lifeforms, native fauna of a planet. Only the Tenno and their Warframes, as well as the sentients, seem to be truly immune to the plague. Not even the Orokin were immune to their own virus. We can see this from the Entrati family, which they're a subject for another time, though the family did manage to retain some form of consciousness. So why did the Orokin decide to use a virus against the sentients? Easy. They got desperate, so they looked for a way to weaponize this plague against their enemies. One attempt was with biobombs that were filled with infested matter. During the war, the sentients attempted to invade Deimos, which would have given them a strategic advantage. The Orokin unleashed a biobomb on Deimos that stopped the invasion, but resulted in the full-on infested conversion of Deimos. This development in weaponizing the infestation eventually led to the creation of Warframes. These were created from the Helminth strain of the infestation, and will be piloted by the Tenno against the sentient and against any infested outbreaks that would occur. Though after the war and the fall of the Orokin Empire, the infestation was left unchecked and began to spread throughout the origin system, and in such cases as Deimos, entire celestial bodies were transformed. After the return of the Tenno, the infested have been somewhat contained, though there are outbreaks from time to time. Whilst last few episodes we looked at the sleek and elegant design of Corpus weaponry and the robust and heavy frame weapons of the Grineer, you may be wondering what the Infested use in terms of weapons. While some of the Infested will just run at you and hit you, others will be carrying weapons that are primarily made of living matter. Their firearms will also usually devour the ammunition, quite literally. Their weapons are usually quite hideous to look at. They will pulse and move, and can have visible flesh and bones sticking out of them. Many factions have also tested weapons with infested components, which shows how great a threat the infested can really be. So, we've looked at what the infested are and what they used to fight with, though how do they fight in general? They have a fairly simple and straightforward strategy. Throw themselves at anything they see as a threat with as many numbers as they can in an effort to overwhelm their target. One interesting thing to note about the infested hive mind, though, is that it seems to have a genuine fear of the Tenno's Warframes, referring to them as their flesh, and constantly asking why they would attack their own kind. This is then enforced when the Lotus tells us the infestation fears hybrids, especially those who can combine themselves with the infestation without actually succumbing to it. We mentioned earlier about a specific strain of the infestation, that being the Helminth, which would become the basis of the Warframes. This was developed by none other than Ballas for countering the sentient threat, though we'll discuss this topic in an upcoming video. Another strain is the Technocyte, which is the most common strain and can be encountered pretty much anywhere throughout the origin system. Another is the Mutalis strain, developed by Allard V. This could enable the infestation to fully control basic robotics and even modify their weaponry. This strain was also capable of taking over Cephalons, which was no small feat. One last strain we'll mention is the Grey strain, which has completely overrun Deimos, infecting everything both on the surface and underneath. The most unique thing about this strain seems to be that the hive mind is divided between the two worm siblings, Fas and Vom. They constantly fight and change the area around them. So, that is our basic rundown on the infested and what they're all about. Now, before I wrap up, I do have plans for more videos beyond these faction-based ones, which I believe there are 2 more of, so stay tuned for those. Though I will be covering bigger events within the Warframe universe after those 2. But that is all for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and consider subscribing, as it really helps out the channel, though the fact you've watched means a lot to me already. Stay safe out there, Tenno, and I'll see you all in the next one.